I'm going to give you some hacks today, right now, that you can start implementing to get more attention and more eyeballs on your stuff. You would love to have more likes, more followers, more comments, more leads, more customers, more partners in your network marketing, home business, MLM business, social retail business, affiliate marketing business, whatever you want to call it, and you want to get more social engagement, you want more social equity. In fact, I want you to start treating your social media like a bank account. Some of you have a big fat zero in your bank account. And when I'm talking about a bank account, I'm not talking about your actual bank account, although that would suck if that's the case. I'm talking about your social equity, your social media. Maybe you don't have a lot of attention. You're not getting a lot of traction because you don't have a lot of influence, but it's okay because I'm gonna help you get more influence. I'm gonna help you get more attention. And first of all, how many of you have heard the term law of reciprocity? How many of you have heard of law of reciprocity? Meaning, if you want more likes, more comments, more love on your posts, then you should give more love, more likes, more comments. In fact, this is something we've been teaching for 10 years, and I know it's probably something that many of you are well aware of, but it's good to get reminders. It's good to be reminded of this, and that's to give love on people's posts, being intentional on a daily basis on the people you want to do business with, people you'd want to connect with. In fact, I would have a goal every day, write this down, to engage on at least 5 people's posts that you haven't talked to in a long time, or you don't know them at all. Leave thoughtful comments on their posts. Maybe even create a section in your boards app where you have 5 to 10 comments that you can leave on people's posts. You can comment on people's profile pictures or their cover photo or family pictures. OMG, I love this picture. Where did you have these pictures taken? You know what I mean? Something real simple, but you're proactively, intentionally, on a daily basis for 10 minutes a day, just spending time in your news feed, loving on people's posts, going into like-minded Facebook groups and loving on people's posts, asking questions on people's comments. Think about how simple this is, right? You maybe follow Bob Proctor. You follow Tony Robbins, you follow Chalene Johnson, or you're in some marketing groups, or you're in some Disney groups, and you're just responding to people's comments because, first of all, these are the kinds of people you'd want to connect with because they're already in Facebook groups. They're already engaging in groups, commenting in groups, spending time on social media. Listen, I've recruited thousands and thousands of people. I've built a multi-million-dollar network marketing team. We've got one of the top teams in the history of network marketing. I'm proud to say that, and I believe it to be true. My team is ridiculous. But I still take the time to leave thoughtful comments. I still take the time to connect with new people every single day. And listen, I have recruited people with no social equity, no social media experience. But I would rather recruit people that have some social capabilities. They're already decent at social media. They're already posting stories. They're already posting in groups. They're already doing reels and doing videos, right? It makes sense for you to maybe spend 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. I wouldn't spend too much time because obviously you want to be intentional in building and growing your business, but it doesn't take that much time to leave comments on people's reels. It doesn't take that much time to respond to people's Facebook or Instagram stories, to leave thoughtful comments on people's posts. Listen, let me ask you a question. Do you love when people respond to your Instagram or Facebook stories? If you love when people when people comment, doesn't it make sense that if you want that to happen on your page, that you should give more of that? Again, law of reciprocity. Should be common sense, but common sense isn't always common practice. Would we agree with that? So I want you to be more intentional, more proactive with engaging on other people's posts every single day. And again, I'm not telling you to spend hours a day on this. 10 minutes in the morning and then maybe 10 minutes at night. Think about this. How many times do you watch a reel and you're that's funny, and you don't like or comment? How many of you that do create content, you ever bump into someone at the grocery store at your son's baseball game and they're oh my gosh, I saw your trip to, Italy. We just had this happen. And they're oh my gosh, I saw your pictures in Italy and Paris. It looked like so much fun. And we were laughing because we're first of all, we didn't know this person even followed us. Number one. Number two, I've never seen a like or a comment. How many of you, it's like, you're like, wow, people are like Santa Claus. Like John said, they're always watching, right? People are always watching. So you do you show up, you post, you do videos, you do the things that you're comfortable doing. Now, I do think success lives outside your comfort zone, but at least posting. In fact, those of you that are maybe newish to social media, I would have a goal to post 5 to 7 times a week. If you're wanting to be more aggressive, 10 to 15 times a week, you should be posting. And you should be incorporating in there some reels, some videos. In fact, Facebook Reels is probably the number one way to generate leads right now on Facebook. But what I love about live videos, in fact, write this down. I would set a goal to do 3 to 5 Reels a week. And I would do at least 1 live video a week. In fact, do a live show, a weekly show. How many of you have been tuning into Money Monday for years? That's our weekly show. Now, do I go live more than once a week? Abso-freaking-lutely. I've already gone live this week 4 times. I like doing live videos for multiple reasons. One, I build a deeper connection with my existing followers. I do get new followers from live videos, but I definitely have more of a deeper connection with existing followers doing lives, while Reels get you in front of a new audience. Lives build deeper connection with the existing audience, right? And if you want to do like an advanced strategy, again, I would do a weekly show. Another advanced strategy would be interviewing other experts, other leaders. Maybe you interview some other top earners in your company. Maybe you interview other experts that are in your industry, interview some of your customers, some of the people within your organization to give them exposure. And by the way, write this down. This is an advanced strategy I learned from Ray Higdon. This is another hack. I heard him say it and I was like, oh, that's so good. And it stuck with me ever since I heard him say it 6-7 years ago. And it's, you want to identify exposure agents. Write that down. Exposure agents. What does that mean? You want to find ways of getting exposure, getting on other people's stages, getting interviewed by other experts, other influencers, or people that are maybe on your team. Maybe you start doing some content creation, not just on your public wall, not just on your page, but also you start posting in Facebook groups. Maybe you connect with, write this down, maybe you connect with the admins or moderators of these Facebook groups and offer to do a free training, offer to provide value inside of those groups. I notice a lot of people are struggling right now with engagement. I notice people will complain to me that, hey, I'm not getting as much, views or likes or leads. And this is where you have to do a combination of posting and prospecting if you want to be profitable, right? You got to be posting and prospecting if you want to be profitable in your business, all right? So long story short, find creative ways to engage with your existing audience, commenting on their posts, responding to their comments. Also, how about this? How many of you, be honest, how many of you could do a better job of responding to people that comment on your posts right now? Like, I'm guilty of this. And by the way, I'm fortunate enough that I don't need to do some of these things, but I still do a lot of these things. Make sense? Like when I see someone comment on my post that I would love to work with, or I haven't talked to in a while, or maybe it's like a new lead, a new follower, whatever. Like I might respond to their comment with a question for 2 reasons. Write this down. The reason you respond to people's comments with a question is, number 1, you're building that relationship with that person that commented. But number 2, it's keeping your post at the top of the newsfeed. Respond to comments on your live videos or your posts, but spread it out. So maybe I respond to like 10, 15, 20 of those comments as soon as this live is over. Then tomorrow I respond to another 10, 20, 30 comments. And then the next day I respond to another 10, 20 comments. It's keeping that video at the top of the feed. Does that make sense? Here's another hack. You ready? You guys liking this? Is this good stuff? Before you go live or before you do a post, go love on other people's posts for 10 minutes. You're warming up the algorithm. You're warming up the algorithm before you go live, before you post, because you got to think of it from Facebook or Instagram or in any platform, YouTube, TikTok. You got to think of it from the platform's perspective. They want to give attention to people that are consistent, that are consuming content, that are creating engaging content, but they're also engaging on other people's content, consuming other people's content. You don't want to just be a taker. How many of you ever heard of Go Giver? It was one of the books that rocked my freaking world. And there's also an additional book, I think, that's called like Go Givers Sell More. And it's Be a Go Giver. So a lot of you, and I talked about this about the bank account, you want to look at your social media as a bank account. Some of you are trying to withdraw, go to the ATM and try to withdraw from an empty bank account. Would you agree that's not going to work for you? They're not going to give you any monies. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how pretty you are, how nice you are, how smart you are. If you don't have money in your bank account, you can't withdraw. Same thing with your social media. So you need to build up your social equity. So if you say, well, my social media engagement is down, you're probably not engaging on enough people's content. Like you're not building up your social equity with others. So those other people are not seeing your stuff. How many of you have noticed that when you engage on someone else's posts, you respond to someone else's Insta story, all of a sudden their posts end up in your newsfeed? I want you to pay attention to this. I also want you to pay attention to another thing. Who are the people that are liking, commenting, and new followers? I want you to write those people down, or maybe some of you are more tech savvy and you have an online database or some online filing system. But I want you to intentionally engage with those new followers. I want you to reach out to those new followers. Thank them for the follow. Ask them how they came across your content, your page, whatever. Find out what they do, who they are. Get to know people. Like, this is why I have consistently enrolled so many rock stars over the years. When I meet someone that's sharp, I'll never forget when I first started seeing Marina Simone doing videos. And I was like, man, she's really good. She only had like 2 live viewers and I was one of them. But I was dropping hearts. I was loving on her stuff, commenting on her stuff. And then eventually, years later, not months later, years later, 2 years later probably, we started working together. The point is, when you see people that are showing up on social, they're putting out content, they're working, they're doing the do. Like, don't you agree that those are people that, like, if they were to join your business, they would probably crush it? Because they're already using social media. They're already showing up. They're already doing the stuff. And I always say that if you can find people in your social networks, right? On social media, like if you could find people that like you would be friends with them outside of business, like those are people you should intentionally connect with. You should engage on their stuff. Plus, let's say you're following Ray Higdon. You're following, some of these marketing influencers, right? You're following Russell Brunson, you're following Joe Rogan, you're on, these people's pages, you're in their Facebook groups, you're following their Instagram, right? They're like-minded people. Why wouldn't you friend up those people? Why wouldn't you respond to the comments of the people posting in those groups? Because let me tell you something, Ray Higdon's not responding to every comment. Like Fraser Brooks is not going to respond to every comment. He's not going to respond to every person in his group. Eric Worre's not going to respond to all those people, but you can respond to those people. You can leave thoughtful comments. You can engage with those people. You can see these people that are leaving comments and then go to their page and see their Insta story and respond to their story. You can leave a thoughtful comment on their profile picture. This stuff is so basic. It's so basic, but it's like, you're telling me you're not getting engagement, but then you're not doing these things every day. I am. I still comment on people's posts in my newsfeed. Some of them are in my company. A lot of them aren't in my company. I'm being a human first and a marketer second. You should write that down. Now, some of this, again, might be overwhelming. I don't expect you to do all of this. I'm just giving you some takeaways. Write down your 3 to 5 best takeaways and start doing this stuff.